Good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal. It's 12 Forza, and this is the final track guide for the Ford Falcon Aussie Supercar for the season. And I think we conclude the season at Maple Valley. Again, I'm assuming it's Maple Valley. It's the second race. So standard track guide format. I'm just going to go out, run a couple out laps to refamiliarize myself with this car because I just got done running some laps on that Mobile One challenge for Jamie Chadwick in that uh, untuned stock Corvette ZR1 that leaned like a drunken sailor and uh, preferred to be kind of slideways through most of the corners. Then I'll just kind of do the slow it down a little bit, do kind of a track walk, kind of pointing out the things I'm looking for, turn in points, what I think the car likes, what you might be able to do. And then because I do want to practice against some AI, because of my questionable racecraft, we'll do a mock race with what I think the race distance will be. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm in, just make sure the car has got 50% fuel. Again, I tend to run these 50% fuel. It's probably a little heavier than what most of you run for whatever tires you're on. I'm going to do the soft compound. Again, we are doing 5 times tire wear. And let's go ahead and run a couple laps. Oh, there we go. I was going to say my stealth car. Okay. So again, launching this car, at least what I think works best is get the RPMs right about 7,500, right at the red line without bouncing the rev limiter. As soon as you go, roll into the throttle. It'll still get a little logy, but again, I'm trying to keep it from bogging down because it's trying to present wheel spin because we're banging off the rev limiter. Third gear here, balance, 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 up to fourth. Again, balance the throttle. Patch here and turn in. Car's going to push wide a little bit. That exit curb looks tempting. It looks safe, but it really isn't. Straightaway here, going to turn in at the green tree on the left. Should put me under the red tree there. And break in between the canopies. Down to third. That's a little wide. Cold tires. Work with it. Just the curving there. Break the first cyan boards on the right. Second gear, hold it in tight. Car's starting to push out a little bit. Fine. I'm just going to hit the gas and go. And bounce off the rev limiter. Don't do that. Little lift turning in to crest the hill. Brake just past the patch on the ground there, the asphalt patch. And this is all about balance. The car starts to push, just ease off the throttle a little bit. You want to get the car centered because you want to take this as straight as possible. A little better than that though. And here comes the scary part. I'm on soft tires. Can I do it flat? Yes, but it is scary. That inside wall is right at the end of the cement pit wall, down to third. Roll into the throttle. Again, it's all about balancing the throttle. Brake, turn in here. Let's see if I can break it. I like apex, doing a second apex there and letting the car come out here. That's a little too far. Break in between the tree canopies. Still a little wide. I'll work on that. Inside. Kind of almost as soon as I see the end of the bridge, I can start rolling back into the tire. Here. Ease off the throttle. Balance, 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 balance. I'm still working on that. Try one more time. Can I do it flat again? I have no idea if I can do that on medium hard tires, but we're going to find out. Okay, so let's do the track walk here. Back the car up. So if you've done it right, you should be in fifth gear coming out on the front straightaway because you haven't died in the final corner. For me, braking, I'm looking for the end of the cement wall, the pit lane on the inside here. As I'm passing that, that's when I'm getting the binders. The other thing I'm doing is I'm hedging my bets that I get my braking wrong. Um, so I'm actually going to cheat the car across. So I'm actually going to point it in, diamond the entry a little bit. That way, if I've totally missed my brakes, I've got some wiggle room. I got some pavement to my left to go to push wide a little bit going into the corner. But brake, 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 brake down to, for me, down to third gear for turn one. And we'll play with, I'm going to play with lines. Again, the Maple Valley is wonderful in the sense that there are, there's obviously there's probably one best line, but at least there are, this track is wide enough that, you know, if you get a little wide, you can still kind of salvage it and maybe take a later apex out, or if you're a little shallow, you know, you can work with it. I think the best line is to get the car slowed down. If you want to carry a little extra speed and have the car about mid corner or mid track, um, as you get the car low down and you start rolling back into power, you'll see me. I'll roll back into power. I'll actually bring it back up to fourth and just kind of balance balance the throttle. Maple Valley, this is a low grip. It is a relatively low grip surface. I think a lot of you are going to notice how much the front pushes, especially as you're trying to find that balance with the throttle and steering. So again, I'm just gonna, my philosophy is always just get the right amount of steering that I know I need, and then just kind of balance the front of the car with the throttle. So if I feel like it's starting to push, I'm just gonna back off the throttle. I don't come out of it completely. I just back out of it enough that the front tires regrip, and then play around. Usually at some point, then I'll actually find where that balance point is in the race. Um, but again, so third gear, fourth gear, I'm going to try and keep it somewhere between mid-track to the right side. I'm going to try and get it as much to the right here as possible. I think ideally this is where I'd want to be. More often than not, I'll probably be a little bit closer to the middle of the circuit. But here we're setting up for this next kind of double apexer onto one of the straights for Maple Valley, and it's a blind entry, so you have to get used to, and I'm sure the suggested line it will help guide you in. But for me, as I'm coming towards this, I want to try and have the car on the right side. I'm actually looking, there's a lot of, they've done a lot of asphalt repair in between Forza 7 and Forza Motorsport 2023. So I'm actually using where the start of this pavement, the newer pavement here that they've patched, as kind of my reference of, okay, I need to brake and start to turn the car in left. So it is still kind of a rhythm thing for me. I don't always get it right, but it is a bit of a brake, and I'm going to turn in. If I do it right, it should put me, right on the apex curving here. Now, one of my big issues that I'm going to be dealing with is probably carrying too much speed through here. And again, because my tendency is I don't tend to like turn more to compensate for understeer. What may happen is I may push wide. So what I want to try and do is I do want to let the car drift out towards the outside curbing. I do want to let it get it out close, but I really don't want to because I'm still going to have a bit of, left steering in the car. The weight's still shifted to the right. The last thing I want to do is kiss that curbing because it is a little bit raised, a little bit elevated, especially if I get it late and get it on the grass there and have it pitch the car sideways. Again, traction control will catch it, but it'll bog the acceleration down, and then you lose all your momentum going down the back straight. Set yourself up to get past, or maybe lose the chance to pass somebody. So again, it's finding that right balance. You want to be back on the throttle. You want to let the car drift out here, but you really want to stay off that outside curbing. I'm going to do my second apex. If I do it right, ideally I'd want a second apex here, just where I just passed there, and then just kind of let the car just naturally drift out, full throttle, all the way out to here, and so that I'm lined up, pointed down the back straight just like it's the mobile sign. That won't always happen. Sometimes I might be a little wide of that second apex, but it's still the end goal whatever line I'm on is to be here at this point. Um, so heading down the back straightaway. Gonna get my eyes up. I'm gonna look for, what I look for is, you can see the trees on the left side here. It's this first green tree. As I get to it, I'm gonna start to turn the car, and I'm gonna, as I turn the car, then I'm aiming, you can see then the red tree that's kind of overhanging kind of as it crests there. That is the apex. So if I turn in at the left tree and I aim for the red tree here, it'll put me right on the curbing, the inside curbing there. Some cars actually, in doing that, as you even get to this point, because we're cresting a little bit of a hill, you might feel the traction control kick in. You might feel the back end want to just ever so slightly step out. It really does in the vet on the other Rivals Challenge. But again, cresting here, let the car come all the way out to the right side. And there's two sets of tree canopies here that I pass under. Here's the first set of red and orange. And as soon as I pass the orange one, before I pass under the next set, this is about where I'm going to be braking, or at least I think I'm going to be braking. Fifth gear, maybe sixth gear, down to third. And for me, I don't have a set turn-in point. I am just looking for the inside curving and trying to get the car slowed down, but usually I will be a little bit wide initially, early. As the race goes on, I might take a better line in, but initially I'll probably brake more straight and then turn in. And as the race goes on, I might trail brake into the apex a little bit more. But ultimately, I'm trying to take a late apex, third gear, trying to get to the curbing, roll back into the throttle, let the car come all the way out, and then what I'm aiming to do is draw almost a straight line from the inside apex curbing on this next little kink to the inside of the curbing for the hairpin. I want to take this as straight as possible. So I might get on the curbing here a little bit, might be just off it. Braking at the first civil board, I think, is a good reference point, as long as somebody else hasn't knocked them over. But that's about my braking point there. It's the easiest one to spot. Brake, 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 and again, I'll diamond in. I'll just dive in for the apex, for this apex curbing, second gear. Turn in. Depending on how much speed, you can kind of see the natural robo market. It comes off that apex a little bit, and then maybe it pulls back. So, if you get a little hot, the car pushes a little bit wide, just, that's fine. Don't be like, oh my God, I got to get back to the inside. Just work with what you've been given. But what I'm going to look for is, I'm turning the car through here. The second I see the mobile bridge, that's usually a good sign for me to really start to see if I can get back to full throttle. So it might be a double apex, or it might be a little bit wide. But as you pass under the mobile bridge, get on that curbing here and keep the car to the right. Now, for this uphill kink off camber exit, uphill turn, if you want to take a full throttle, and you got traction control on, it'll work. I think what happens though is as you crest that hill with all the momentum you're carrying, the car gets light, and it's just going to shove the car all the way to the inside, which puts you really, really far to the right, heading into the very sharp, right-hander uphill. My preference is I'd rather breathe the throttle a little bit to get the car turned in, to keep it left as I crest the hill, so that at worst I'm mid-track as I settle in. I'd like to keep it probably a little bit further to the left side, but as you clear the bridge, for me it'll be a little lift, and then I'll roll back into the throttle. But I'm trying to do something like this. And braking here, this is the other thing I'm going to be figuring out. Braking, I will probably brake slightly as I get off this new pavement here. So as I clear the new pavement, between here and where the curbing starts to the inside, it's going to be a little bit of a brake, downshift, keep it mid-track, but I'm going to late apex it as I cross the hill. I'll probably let off the throttle. Again, for me, this is just habit. Because it crests the hill on exit, I don't want an excessive amount of wheel spin. Again, the back end's going to get light, so I don't want an excessive amount of wheel spin, or I don't want the traction control. I don't want the back of the car to start to step out and then have the traction control, drop like a sledgehammer to keep the wheels from spinning. So if I crest the hill, if I just ease off the throttle a little bit and then roll back in, I find the car sits better um, as I roll back to throttle. So here, long carousel turn, you're just going to be balancing the throttle, probably bring it out mid-track. Ultimately, I'm trying to get it back to the right side where the curving ends, because I want to set this next chicane up to take it as straight as possible. So a little bit late of a turn in here. This is probably a lot later than I'll actually be doing. But I may get on the inside grass here, maybe just shy of it. But the idea is when you exit, when you come off this inside here, or you come off the apex of the left-hander here, the idea again, you're going to be turning left, so there's going to be weight shift to the on the right side. I don't want to have this car all of a sudden to make this next chicane. I want the car set first, centered up and set for this next right-hander before I turn in. So I don't want the car still leaning to the, having weight on the right side of the car as then I have to turn it right, because then it's just going to shift that weight all the way back across. It'll get the back of the car a little bit upset. It just makes this next chicane a little bit trickier. So if I can come out of here and get the car set even, it's kind of pointed to clip the apex but pointed towards the red tree, then turning that little bit right and then turning back that little bit left, it's less of a weight shift. The car's a little bit, it's poised, it can handle it better, it's a little bit more poised getting through there. You'll be able to actually carry more speed, have your foot down to the floor much easier than if you're trying to handle a snap weight shift, from right to left as you enter that chicane. That's what I'm trying to do. Won't always do it. Again, another blind corner entry heading down the hill. I'm using, and this is where I still have to figure it out. In previous cars, usually it's just like a lift and turn in. This car understeers a little bit, so you're probably going to have to give a little bit of a braking. And again, I'm kind of using this new pavement here, probably about here, maybe where it ends. Maybe give a little bit of a brake. I don't think you need downshift to get the car turned in. You can cross over that curbing, but what I'll try and do is late apex it, roll back on the throttle, let the car come up to the left side, try and stay off the grass, and then it's down the hill to the final corner, the hardest corner, the corner of death. I forget what they've named this, but what I've been looking for is, now I haven't tried this on medium or hard compound yet, but on soft compound, when they're warmed up, if you get the turn in right, you can take this flat. It is scary, but you can take it flat. So what I'm looking for is I don't see I can see the number boards, but I just see the board. I don't actually see the number on it. But what I'm actually using as a reference point is the white symbol sign that sits between the 2 and the 1. That's what I'm kind of keying off of for turn in. So if I do it right, as I'm passing that, I'll turn in, and you're gonna flirt with the end of the apex curbing here, and you're gonna flirt with the wall. You might get on it a little bit, let the car come out, hit this curbing, big compression as it bottoms out, and then you're onto the front stretch. If you hit, let me turn around here. I know this because I've done this. If you turn in too early, and hit this inside wall, you're going to the tires, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. You're going to spear across and go into the tires. If you're late, if you find that you're late and the car's going to push wide, usually the thing I go through first is I'll ease off the throttle first. I'll back off the throttle and see if that gets enough weight on the front. Usually the earlier you can tell you're pushing wide, the better. But if I find that I'm late, first gear. If I find that I'm late, it's usually just a lift of the throttle, maybe just touch of the brake to get some weight on the front tires to get it to bite. Then just let it go through. Usually then I'm off the throttle or feathering the throttle until I'm sure I'm safe. So as soon as I get off this one and know that I'm not going to go off on the left, and then I can floor it. So it's hard for me to describe it easier. It'll be easier to see me do that when I make mistakes, which I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes there. But that's a lap on Maple Valley. Hopefully, if you've done this right, your fifth gear flying down the front straightaway and getting ready for the next lap. So there we go. That's the track guide portion. So it's now time for me to figure out how good my racecraft is here, because this is going to be a fun race. Again, very technical Yask, then coming here to a very high speed flowy road circuit that requires maximum commitment. So let's go ahead and quit the race. Excuse me. Advanced setup. Let me at least get this far and forward. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the audio pause the stream really quick to kind of reset the audio, so that we don't get poppy staticky stuff at the end, and we'll go from there. We'll do the mock race with what I think the race distance will be. So be right back. Okay. Let's reset audio. Okay, we'll see if those estimates hold. All right. I'm guesstimating 21 laps based off lap times I've been running. But we'll see what that is like at the end. So random, rolling 4, we'll go random. Then we track over 28, all the drive tires. There we go. That's all good there. Rule sport rules. All right, so it looks like it's 21 laps. Yeah, I'm still gonna make us all do. Nah, I think I have it set to. I did 1. Let's do it. We were on 1, even though most likely we're going to be running at least two stops in this race. Yeah, it's at least 2 stops. So okay, let's go ahead and accept all. Load in. Let's make sure things are set the way we want it. Yeah, no. But tell us about Maple Valley before I change the weather.
Maple Valley is wide, fast, and mostly forgiving. So get to know where the fastest race line is through every segment, but be prepared to do plenty of overtaking off that line.
Fair enough. I'm actually event setup. I don't know that I want to do it. I'm going to whine a little bit. I don't know that I want to do a night race here. So I'm actually going to, put my thumb on the scale, so to speak. Let's do sunset, just for kicks and kicks. Well, you know what? I'm going to spend too much time thinking about this. Let's just do random. We're going to do random again. I don't know that I want to be at night, but I definitely don't want rain. Roll the dice. The noon thin haze. Okay, we'll continue the thin haze. All right, so let's talk tire strategies. I'll give my initial guesstimates and see how wrong I am once I get into the race. So soft, medium, hard, as far as 60% guesstimate, 4, 6, and 8. If we do a 21 lap race or in and around 21 laps, it's a definite 2-stopper. And at that point, then it's like 18. It's going to be. You might be able to run one stint on each tire compound if you want to push an extra lap or 2 on each stint. That's up to you. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to do the same thing again. I was off by a lap at Yas, but I think that was a difference between running laps and doing tire testing at noon is my standard versus the race was much later in the evening. So I think that might have played into it. I don't know. So I don't know if 4, 6, and 8 is accurate here. It might be 5, 7, and 9. But let's go ahead and find out. So I'll start in the hard and I'll work my way down the compounds and just see how many laps I get out of them. So let's go fuel and tire. Again, because since I'm really bad at math and lap counts and how much fuel, we're just going to set for 21. There we go. Right there. We'll start on the hard tires. And all right, let's run 21 laps at Maple Valley. Where am I starting? Starting towards the back again? Nope, up mid-pack. So I'm going to try and really don't have any place on the inside. Everybody should move to the left. So I should just be able to hold the inside and let everybody by. Let everybody by and then immediately be past them. But hey, everybody's being very, very ginger on these on the track conditions. It's probably why my tire guesstimates are off, because I'm never really pushing on this opening lap like I would like I will on Thursday, because got a lot more traffic in front of me. I fired it in there. Okay, this is going to be fun. What's the AI going to do? Oh! Surprise! Ah! Okay. Well, at the rate I was gaining on the leader after the first lap, then we got the first lap shenanigans out of the way. Oh, looked like Saletti there punted somebody off. Push. Understeer. It's sketchy. It's part. I'm not sure. It's that hesitation of, I just don't know if the hard tire compound has the grip to go flat out. I don't think so. So I'd rather just be a little bit conservative. Snap the throttle a little too much. Traction control's like, that's if you try to really push over the crest of the hill. You see how far to the right side it put me. Excuse me. Wait, why would you give me the warning? I'm the one that got run into. I just got moved. Push. Fifth gear in and then quick upshift to quick upshift to sixth. Check tires. Still not quite getting the apex. Almost, almost do it flat. So just doing a little bit of a confidence lift. Push. A little room, so I think he's going to take a look. I think we're going to pit this lap because I'm going to be just about at 60 by the end of it. Fronts are definitely not gripping as well as they were before. I'm looking for that mobile logo that I just passed under. A little bit wide.
Total time penalty is about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, it's about 8 laps. Let's go to the mediums. Skip. Let's see if we can get 6 laps. All right, pit exit very late. The nice thing is it does kind of put you where you need to be to get onto the back straight here. A good push there. Oh my! I'll take all the freebies. One of those, I'm half tempted to try and save the replay just to see what happened there. Like, did they all, is that just what the AI does on their outlap from the pits? almost too late on the turn in. That initial left is slower than you think it should be. Early on the turn in, had to get out of it, even had to do a little bit of a checkup on the brake, or else I was going into the wall. Try hard move. Gotta get Stu. It's a little understeer. Expecting he would probably brake here, so I'm going to just check up a little bit. There it is. I'm actually going to try and do 7 laps. See if I can get 7 laps out of these mediums. Now, if I do that, that work to catch Stu, and it's going to cost me 2 spots. Maybe. Whoa, big slideways there. We're going to try and get to lap 15. And I'm just going to finish the race on the mediums. A little bit late on the turn-in, so definitely had to back out on the throttle, but didn't really need to brake. A big run. Push, 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 push. That wasn't good. Yeah, so this is going to be the sketch lap. Probably we'll get to severe at the end of this lap. Definitely do not have the grip that I had earlier. Got nothing there. No grip whatsoever. Yeah, definitely do not want to go past 60% unless you're trying to make like well, I don't even think a one-stop strategy is going to work here. And yep, we're going to pit. So that should then get me, the 6 laps then to the end of the race in the mediums. It's just a question of, can I make up the gap? I think Rodeo was ahead. I think Rodeo had a 13-second lead. Well, he extended that since I went, really slow in that in lap. I'm turning the wheel as if I'm actually driving. I'm not. Yeah, once you get out, it's going to push. So just be careful when you're exiting pit lane and trying to get back up to speed. If someone's, on your left, because when you let flying a little bit out of the pits, the car's going to push wide. Please go into the pits. Please go into the pits. Please go into the pits. Thank you. AI has, turn 10, you need to work on your avatar's outlaps at Maple Valley. This is the other recommendation I would make is I would not try to pass anybody going downhill into that corner. I'm probably going to be looking for runs out. Come on. Again, can't talk and drive at the same time. At this point, unless Radio's Gravatar makes a mistake. Oh, never mind. Say, if the Gravatar made a mistake, I was going to try and set up a pass to the front straight away, but I don't need to do that now. Not a nice thing to see. Moderate tire ride right as I'm going into the last turn. But 34.53, 21. Yeah, 21 laps might be the right guesstimate. Again, factoring in bucket delays, but that is Maple Valley full in this number 17 Ford Falcon Aussie Supercar. Should be a fun race. Again, nice contrast of tracks between the tight technical circuit at Yas and then compared to this. So that'll do it for this track guide. That'll do it for the track guides for the Falcon this season. And I think the next season is the production car Audi. What is it? The RS6 Avant. So Wagon Wars, I guess we would call it. So again, hope you guys are having a good weekend, and we'll see you on Thursday night. Happy racing. Oh, wait. I got to see the podium. Since I won. Rodeo. Yeah, that's how I celebrate. All right. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Happy racing.